All right, good morning, KWGM, and welcome to our weekly sales meeting. We have an awesome one today as we wrap up our sales meeting series for June, which has been focused on listings. If you didn't know, listings are a huge part of your real estate business, a huge piece of leverage. And those agents that list last. We list to last. All right, we're going to dive right in and talk a little bit about our beliefs as we touch on a different belief at the start of each sales meeting. Guys, you're going to continue to hear me talk about a shift. You're going to continue to hear us talk about changing mortgage markets. You're going to hear us continue to talk, and probably towards the end of next month, you're going to start hearing everybody talk about this dirty little R word called recession. And I think what's really important is that when those things come up, there can be a ton of distractions. There can be a ton of panic put into the environment. Our goal is to help you stay educated, stay informed, and stay ahead of the curve so that you can do the same thing for your customers. So I want to talk about customers. Customers always come first. As we establish our big why for our big life, the path to achieving that comes through helping more people. And so always approach your education, your learning-based lifestyle, everything that we're putting out there in the universe for you to consume it in a way that you can turn around and use it to benefit your customers, that you can use it to better serve your clients and keep them better informed. The opportunity for good decision making in good markets is very high, right? There is a broad, you have a wide berth of opportunity. As markets start to turn, as environments get more difficult, there is an increasing opportunity for bad decisions, not by us necessarily as fiduciaries. We would never guide anyone into bad decisions, but for our clients and our customers. And so please, as you consume the information, anything that we cover, frame it in a way, not just that, wow, this is interesting and that's infotainment, but how do we turn this thing on its head and say, what do I do with this piece of information and who is it important to that I can immediately go and impact? And if we have that mindset, we will always have an abundance of opportunities to serve others. We'll always be making our way towards hitting our goals. So customers always come first. Keep that mindset tight. All right. Last night, we had a career night, our second one of June in the Rocky River office. We had a really outstanding group, both in person and on Zoom. A big thank you to all these folks who helped us fill the room and fill the Zoom. We had folks who were just at the tip of the spear wanting to learn more about a career in real estate, all the way through folks who were making their final decision for a brokerage and ready to take the Division of Real Estate exam. So big thanks to everybody who filled the room. Always fun also to have agents in the room. Wendy Dixon was there and was able to illuminate some of the conversation from the agent perspective. So for anybody that ever just wants to network more, wants to be in the room and hear how we talk about career in real estate, talk about the opportunities at Keller Williams, everyone is welcome as an agent in this company to attend, whether you bring a guest or not. We always love to have you in the space. So big thanks to everybody who made last night a big success. So let's talk about some upcoming trainings. First, we've had a lot of fun and a lot of success with our sales meeting series. And so knowing that we are in a shift, not coming up on a shift, but in a shift right now, we thought it would be important, instead of me talking for just a few minutes at the start of every meeting about the tactics in a shift, we're going to take the 12 sales meetings of the third quarter and we're going to go through each one of the 12 tactics on how to succeed in a shift. So you're going to hear from experts in these. You're going to hear some content directly from the book Shift. If you're like, wow, man, this book Shift seems like it is really good, and I should maybe know more about what's going on in a market shift, you can pick up a copy. Just email any member of our leadership team. Email Price Sierra is your best bet. Get a book set aside for you in the office. Get it added to your invoice and start consuming it. This book was created to help real estate agents in Keller Williams navigate shifting markets, and we're going to bring it. We're going to blow it up. We're going to make it big and a part of every single week for the next 12 weeks. Here is a snapshot of the July calendar, which should have landed in all of your inboxes on Friday. So starting this Friday, we get underway with another great month of training and events. And you can see the shift series coming up there, but I want to emphasize and make sure that you do not miss the opportunity to participate and to be a part of our summer mastermind. So this event will sell out. And if I sound like a broken record, it's because I care about you and I want you to be successful, and I don't want you to miss one of the most dense and impactful trainings of the year. We're going to be together for just a few hours, and you are going to hear from dozens of top agents in our marketplace about how they master certain subsets of the business, their lessons learned, their breakthrough moments, and what business ownership really looks like. So you're going to have the opportunity to hear some really intimate and detailed conversations as it relates to your real estate business. And then we're very excited to have Maurice Claret as our keynote for the event. And he is going to be talking about how important mindset and community are as you navigate tough times. And, I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to scare anybody with the conversation around the shift. Matt Chase and I were sitting in the office this morning, just chatting about the next 18 months will be different than the last 18 months. That doesn't mean there won't be opportunity. It just means we have to be looking for it, and we have to be looking for different things. So Maurice is going to have a conversation with us about what that looked like throughout his life and what it is meant to come out on the other side with a different mindset. So please, this will sell out. Get your tickets now. We have not released them to the public. This has not gone out to the greater agent population. This is not something that anybody else outside of Keller Williams has been invited to. So grab your tickets now so that you are there. This Wednesday, that's tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. in the Pepper Pike office, third floor training room, Eddie Donnelly will be breaking down one of the most important elements of every Keller Williams University course, and arguably the pride and joy of Gary Keller's authorship, which is the 6 personal perspectives. These are key to success in any endeavor. And Eddie, who is nothing short of a fantastic presenter and a very, very strongly aligned individual inside of the Keller Williams culture, is going to deliver a fantastic and interactive session. So make sure you are not showing up just to sit there and can listen, but you are going to be participating, thinking, deciding, setting goals, holding yourself accountable from the very moment you walk in. So it's going to be a really powerful session. Be there or be square. And then this Friday, Matt Chase is going to do a reverse book club on a fantastic book called The War of Art. It's written by Stephen Pressfield, who has a great set of books that are hyper focused on the idea of accomplishment and getting things done. It's not about productivity systems. It's not about, there isn't a 5 chapters on time blocking, right? This is understanding the internal conversations and challenges and battles that come with high achievement and accomplishing a lot. and which Matt certainly has done. And so we're excited for him to walk through that, his lessons learned from that text, and boil down what it means to really be a professional in our industry. And then starting in July, excited to bring a new modality for training to all of you as our agents. We have so many talented and capable and successful agents, and there's so many big things that we talk about on a consistent basis that sometimes we miss, some of the small tactics or tweaks or strategies. And so we'll be bringing every Wednesday, starting in July, Training in 10, which is just 10 minutes or less on a subject from a subject matter expert to talk a little bit about the way that they power up their business, power up their day, their mindset, their lead generation. There's a lot of different things that we're going to cover. And we hope that this is a way to highlight more agents, spotlight more agents, and then also provide you with some more readily consumable training if you can't block off hours in the afternoon, or if you're not here with us right now and you're consuming this later on today via YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be a lot of fun, and we are excited to bring that new format to you. And then at the end of July, we are going to score some really awesome weather. We're going to be at Edgewater Beach, and we're going to have a fun cookout. It is Hawaiian themed. It is a summer luau this year. So, if I can find an all white Hawaiian shirt, that's what I'll be wearing. But it's going to be a ton of fun. We will have food and drinks provided, and there is a potluck sign up. If you check your email from Friday, there's a link in there for that. So if you make a really mean watermelon art, or you've got a great salsa that you want to bust out and show off, please do that. Bring it, bring the friends, bring family, bring the pets, bring the kiddos, and let's all have a lot of fun hanging out together at the end of July. And then get it on your calendars now, guys. Mega Camp is returning live and in living color here, not here, but in Austin, Texas. But this year, August 23rd and 24th is Mega Camp. If you were sitting here wondering what Mega Camp is one of the largest education-based events in real estate. Thousands of top agents throughout the world will descend on Austin, Texas for exclusive mastermind and education opportunities, led by our founder and CEO, Gary Keller. And one of our very own, Mr. Ryan Young, will be interviewed on the main stage by Gary Keller as a part of Mega Camp. So part of Cleveland is going to be there in a big, big way. If you're interested in learning more about Mega Camp or opportunities to attend Mega Camp, please grab the link in the chat, and we expect to have several agents attending and several members of our leadership team as well. So we're excited about the opportunity to get back in person and to network with literally thousands of top agents from around the world. And then mark your calendars. If I was going to make a list of real estate companies that spent time developing content and publishing books for the sole purpose of helping their agents grow bigger businesses and serve clients better, I would have a list of one company, and that's Keller Williams. And so Gary Keller and Jay Papasan, the authors of The One Thing, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, are coming out with the newest version of Your First Home. This is going to be great. It's your first home in the modern era. It talks through, everything from budgeting and expense management to save for a down payment, understanding mortgage and interest rates, understanding the home buying process. Guys, if you are looking for an opportunity to get into a deeper relationship with somebody as a customer or future client, and you know that they are they're currently renting or they're currently living in mom and dad's basement, this will be out just after Labor Day, I believe. You can pre-order it now. This would be a really impactful tool to put in the hands of anybody you know that is anywhere in the home buying process, and anyone you know that has never purchased a home, or any young person that you know. And a little handwritten note on the inside, a business card, some consistent follow-up, and you will have a client base for life. As the National Association of Realtors tells us, 88% of everybody who bought a home last year and over 90% of the people who bought a home in the last decade would use their realtor again. So if you can do one deal, you can do a lot of deals. And this is an easy foot in the door and education-based way to get in front of your people right now. All right, so a ton coming. And if you didn't hear anything I said, hear this. Get your tickets to Summer Masterminds right now. All right, over to our friends in mortgage, Sean Hadley and Don Jarecki. Gentlemen, what's the news in the mortgage world this week? Do we have good news?
Yeah, rates settled back down a little bit. So 2 weeks ago was the Fed meeting, and everyone was high alert for the first time in quite some time. The average interest rate nationwide had peaked above 6%. Markets calmed a little bit. The 30 years hovering around that 6, and we're able to sneak in on the high 5s. And Don, whoever said no to a high 5, right? That was for you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good.
I only got to use it.
We should have rehearsed better, but yeah. So 30-year fixed, we're hoping for a bit of a plateau, and if rates get a little bit better, that's going to be a huge gift. If they stay the same, we'd be extremely happy with that, just because of what we've seen the last couple of weeks. The next Fed meeting, I believe, is July 27th. The expectation is for them to bump the rate another 0.75%. So just because with the Fed kind of changing sort of the expected next few hikes, the fact that rates are sneaking back into the 5s here and there is definitely a good thing. I put in a little note on Facebook last week regarding VA loans. VA loans, it's oftentimes we get questions of, do you guys do VA loans? Yes, yes, yes. Cross Country Mortgage was in the top 20 nationwide for VA lenders. So we do those very commonly, very often. We have, lower credit score limitations than most. It is a zero down program. I did an $807,000 purchase last year with a VA no money down. Great program, great interest rates. And the big announcement I mentioned last week, the Fed or the VA does not require the seller to pay for pest inspections anymore. So every VA loan requires a pest inspection, but the VA, the veteran is able to pay for that now instead of it going to the seller side automatically. Seller still can be negotiated for the seller to pay it, but the buyer is eligible for that. But Don?
Yeah, and quite frankly, that rule has been around since 2014, but people just refuse to exercise it. As long as you're not charging a borrower a 1% origination fee, I should say the veteran a 1% origination fee, they can pay that pest inspection. So it becomes a non-negotiable anymore. And it is a nice selling point because everybody thinks VA loans are so much more expensive to the veterans. Another nice tool with the VA appraisal, the VA appraisal is the one that offers you two options to truly fight a potential low appraisal. Conventional loans, FHA loans, USDA loans, you do not know if you're going to have a low appraisal coming in. If the VA appraiser is struggling with value, they will call something that they will use the term tidewater. That means they have 48 hours, they being the realtor, 48 hours to provide comps to support value before he issues that appraisal. And once that appraisal is issued, if we still don't agree with the value, we can actually go to the VA directly to fight the appraisal if we feel it's that bad of an appraisal. And appraisals aren't any worse on VA loans. They don't take any longer. I had one done last Wednesday that was turned in on Friday. So don't think VA takes longer. They're the easiest loans to do. They're the simplest loans to do. They're the best performing loans to do. And quite frankly, these people deserve the service that we give them.
Well said.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. We know that from a community base, Keller Williams has leaned in a big way in supporting veterans and through KW Military. And it is a tremendous opportunity that exists for those individuals who have served or continue to serve. And if you know anybody, it's a great way, again, to demonstrate value and make sure that they're taking advantage of something that they absolutely should. So thank you both very much. All right, over to Miss Tiffany Haddendorf Smith with an update from Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow.
Good morning, everybody. To touch on what Don and Sean were talking about regarding the pest inspection, it's not typical for the title company to order the pest inspection. However, we're happy to do so if you would like us to. Just let us know early in the process so that we can get it started and make sure that it's completed in a timely manner. We've had a few lately where it wasn't communicated to us and it was pretty late in the process. So we want to make sure that's done early and to everybody's satisfaction. The second thing I wanted to talk about this morning is our online earnest money deposit option. This is a wonderful, secure, and convenient way for buyers transactions that we're closing to deposit their earnest money. We have since changed software providers. That is a more secure process, both for us and the buyers. They do have to create a login. Now we will be sending out written documentation for you guys to share with your buyers or to the buyer's agent when we go under contract. But basically the buyer goes to the same exact place. They create a login and a password. They can access at any time. And the difference is very user-friendly on our side. We can see the deposits faster. We can see them. They're more delineated in the system. We know exactly who deposited them. They're deposited in the bank account one by one rather than in bulk. There's all sorts of great things. But the two biggest pieces that were important to us is the funds are actually verified in that person's account before it comes in our account. They cannot bounce. With the other system, we didn't have that option. It acted just like a bounce check. Also, with this particular one, the ACHs cannot be recalled, which is huge. We had multiple transactions last year where even after closing, buyers recalled their earnest money deposits, and then we had to, of course, chase after them for them, which is not fun, as you can imagine. So they do not have that option with this new software. It's definitely more secure for us and the buyers. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We'll get stuff posted on the Facebook group and we'll get an email out to everybody with just simple instructions you can save to your phone, share with your buyers, or share with the buyer's agents.
Love that. Love that Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow is always looking for ways to make for a tighter, more secure, more user-friendly process as a part of making the real estate transaction just a little bit less painful all around.
That's the goal.
All
Thanks,
right.
Mike.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week. All right. Do we have, yes, we do. I see you. Gina, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I just wanted to thank everybody first and foremost that reached out. I got a lot of text messages. I had surgery last Tuesday, so I'm back to work and just getting stronger every day. So I thought I would thank our agents so much for their care calls and concern. So I am recovering, and I thought today would be a good time to talk about why it's so important to list with a home warranty. So it's important to list with a home warranty because your seller gets complimentary coverage during time of listing and legal protection. They don't pay anything till we go to the closing table. And 10 times out of 10, if the buyer's agent does, if the buyer does a home inspection and something gets uncovered at that time, your seller can actually open claims. So really awesome to list with a home warranty. It protects your client, gives them legal protection, and gives them some recourse, certainly. So that's kind of my update today for listing with a home warranty.
Love that. Love the opportunity that is provided through the home warranty, through APHW, to protect the clients and also us as agents. We know that in a faster market, faster moving market, it can become more litigious, and the opportunity to potentially be protected by APHW as a result is huge. So thank you for that. And thank you, Gina, for being back so soon. We're glad to see you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, everybody.
You too. All right, Miss Jess Ivins with Greater Metropolitan Management. What is happening in the property management world?
Hey everybody, good morning. We also have an exciting software update to share with you guys. We recently switched over to a new software system that was custom built for our company. And with that, we have a new website. A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me, letting me know that you have some tenants that you're working with that are looking for places to rent, and you either need to pass them off and you want to provide them with some type of value add, letting them know that you have a great property management company that has on average 30 properties for rent at any given time. Well, now with our new website, they can actually schedule showings right online. So we set this up to be almost identical to showing time. And I'm actually not familiar with any other property management company that has this option. Normally you had to call, wait for somebody to call you back. Well, now your tenants can just apply, they can schedule a showing right online, and it gets sent right to us, and somebody will be in touch to show them the property on the days that they say that they're available. So it's really great. So far, we're seeing a ton of success, and we're able to get tenants into properties a lot quicker. So please, I'll put our website in the chat box again for you guys. Take a look. I have more exciting announcements around our new software system and our new website that pertains to tenants and to property owners that you guys refer over to us, but I want to keep you on your toes, so I'll share those in the next couple weeks.
Oh, love that little into Q2 cliffhanger from Jack. Well, thank you very much. Excited to hear, see, and feel some of the upgrades taking place at Greater Metropolitan Management to help our agents, and more importantly, help their clients and our clients. So thank you for that. All right, gang. We have reached the top of the hour, and we are going to lean into our training segment for this morning. We're going to talk about maximizing the listing with Debbie Garson. And before we dive into the conversation, we've got a little video to play while we get Debbie spotlit here. And let's see if I can do this correctly.
I affiliated with Keller Williams in November of 2015. The reason I chose to affiliate with Keller Williams is because of their belief system. The Keller Williams model is deliver exemplary service. I am honored to be your realtor and to represent you. I will help you make your dream come true, and we'll work together as a team. When I list your home, the first thing we will do is we fill out paperwork. It's relatively easy. The most important decision any seller has to make is pricing. I will sit with you and show you every home that is on the market right now that will be comparable and pertinent to your home. The first available Tuesday, I will hold a broker's open house. What I am doing at that time is exposing your home to every broker that is available in our marketplace. That's the first and most important step in marketing your home. I do broad-based marketing on the internet. I send out to all of your neighbors. It just listed. I do believe in Sunday open houses, opening it up to the public. It is a plus in marketing your home. So your only job as the seller is to make sure that your home is squeaky clean. I have a marketing specialist. I have a listing specialist. I have a professional photographer. Before your buyer even walks through your door, they have seen your home on the internet. So when you list your home with me, you're basically taking the burden of selling your home off of your shoulders and you're putting the burden on my shoulders. And I have very broad shoulders. I am thrilled to take on that responsibility. Once we have our buyer, the offer will be written by the buyer's agent. The best process to present the offer, and the one that dates back with me to 1977 when I was licensed, is actually sitting with my seller. There is a buyer for every home in the marketplace, and I've sold homes in every shape and size. I love being a realtor because I love working with buyers and sellers and helping them make their dreams come true. And it doesn't matter if it's a $60,000 home or a $6 million home. You will always have my concierge service.
All right, Debbie, wow. Let's I know we've got some other slides that we're going to throw up here in a minute, but let's get you up on the big board to say hello. How you doing this morning, Debbie?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mike, for sharing that for me. The reason I did that really was I became very well aware in 2016 of the importance of social media. And I'm too self-conscious to do what I think is great, what people are doing today, the 3-minute blurbs, you're standing in front of your new listing. I think that's great, but you know, I'm too self-conscious. I'm too afraid that my dress will look wrinkled or my makeup isn't right or my hair is frizzy. So I just can't do that. But I really knew that I needed to get up to speed. Anyway, as you know, I was licensed in 1977. So that's before many of you were born. And for purposes of this conversation and talking about listings and maximizing the listing, I put together my numbers so far this year. So it's very important to be on top of your numbers, certainly when you're goal setting, and then to make sure that you're on target. I don't do that as often as I should, but I did count my transactions. Now I want you to keep in mind that I'm a solo agent. I've always been a solo agent. I don't know where I'm going to be a year from now as I try to figure out the next 10 years of my life, but thus up to this moment, I am a solo agent. And I have only had 12 transactions so far this year. Now that's not many when I hear 50 and 80 and 210 and all that, but that's how many I've had. My average sales price is over 600,000. And that didn't happen yesterday. That's from years and years and years and years of repeat and referral business. I didn't start out selling $600,000 homes. I started out selling homes much, much less. And I still sell homes much, much less. It's just that that's not what I've been offered this year, which is kind of good. In any event, so with those 12 transactions, here's where we are. I'm at over 7.5 million. And I have, of those 12, 8 listings that have sold. And I sold one of those listings myself last week. So that's 9. And then I sold, I worked with 3 buyers. Now I did give some buyers away just because I was out of town with my new grandbaby and I just couldn't service them. Somebody wanted to get out and see it. So I did give some buyers away, but while I recognize the importance of buyers, listings, there's 2 old sayings in real estate. One is to list is to live. And the second is old realtors never die, they just become listless. And both of those are true.
I love that one. I knew we were going to get it this morning. It's my favorite.
Yep.
That's wonderful, Debbie. Now, whenever, let's talk a little bit about, you are a listing agent, right? Not that you don't work with buyers, but you are an expert at listing homes, preparing them for market, pricing them. Was that always the case? If there are agents out there who are like, oh, I would love to be a listing agent and have a $650,000 average price point. You mentioned it wasn't always that way. Was there a time where you were less confident in listings or they were harder to come by for you?
Yeah, of course. So I remember early on in my career, what I would do is I would go to the seasoned agents. And by the way, agents are still doing this today. I would go to the seasoned agents and I would ask them, may I hold one of your homes open this weekend? Preferably in a market that I wanted to work in. And then today, imagine the opportunity that agents have today that I didn't have then. You can market that all over your social media. Come join me at my open house on Sunday, 123 Main Street. It's not your listing, but they don't know it's not your listing. So yes, I mean, that was something that I had to work very hard to get to this point. Another thing I did when I was holding an open house is I learned everything there was to know about that street or that area. So I could talk to sellers when they came in the door and they would say, the neighbor down the street just sold. Oh yeah, that was a great home. It was blah, blah, blah. So they thought I was a lot more experienced than I was. So
yeah.
it's okay.
There's a great, we're talking about maximizing the listing today, and whether it's an open house that you're holding open for somebody else, or it's your listing and maybe it's your first listing on that street, doing your homework, touring other homes, pulling all the comps from the MLS. What a great way to maximize every opportunity that comes through the door. As we know, those open houses have as many potential buyers as they have nosy neighbors, right?
Mm-hmm. And I love when I hear people say, oh, it was a terrible open house. They're just nosy neighbors. Nosy neighbors will be sellers. And when they come in, I embrace them.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're holding an open house to get buyers, you're doing it the wrong way. Sellers are what you want from open houses, because they want to see, how are you managing somebody else's largest financial asset?
Correct. I mean, first and foremost, you're doing it for your seller, because the seller loves knowing that their home is being exposed like that. Yeah. But then to get other sellers, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, let's dive into a little bit more about like maximizing, and, aside from, hey, I'm going to sell it in 20 minutes for $100,000 over list price, which, is a great way to maximize a listing. What are some of the other things that you might want to do, or that you might focus on as part of your process? You mentioned brokers open in the video. I'd like you to talk a little bit more about that, because we really haven't had many brokers opens in the last 24 months, thanks to a pandemic. So let's start with that. What exactly is a broker's open? Why do you do it?
So I used to do, brokers opens. And by the way, I got a text from a friend of mine today who said there are some great homes on tour. Do you want to go today? I rarely tour anymore. Yeah. I rarely do. There are some people that still do, but I can see it on this. I can see it on the MLS. I really don't need to, typically I'm a little too busy, but prior to the pandemic, I had major brokers opens, and I always served a lunch, and everybody knew that I was the Taza queen. So I always served a lunch, and I held it open for longer than a 2-hour period, and sellers love that too. But that so much has changed since I made that video, because remember I talked about the paperwork that we fill out, but guess what? Now we have that loop. So, but you have to know your audience. If I'm dealing with an 80-year-old seller, I'm not going to say, let's go on dot loop. They'll say, huh? What's dot loop? Know your audience, of course.
Yeah. How even though brokers opens and they're starting to make a comeback, right? You see a few more each week. How important were those to you, building your network and building relationships with people who would bring you buyers?
Yeah, very important. So, I always say key in this industry is in the relationships that you have with other realtors. I mean, when I see, Jane Smith come in with an offer, I know her reputation. I know she's good. I know she dots every I and crosses every T. That is really important to me. And I know that agents feel that about me. So I had an old manager that used to say, her name was Joan Garfield. And she used to say, the only contract I never have to look at is one that comes from Debbie Garson. And that was such a compliment.
Wow.
Because I do make sure every I is dotted and T's are crossed.
Yeah, and that is a reputation that is worth its weight in gold in any market.
But may I tell you one story about an open house? Okay.
Please.
So I got a call 2 weeks ago now, from a seller, and let me back up a minute. So I have a young intern who is currently working to obtain his real estate license. He's taking classes now. His name is Nate Miller, and he's on this. Hello, Nate. He's on this. I invited him to the meeting.
Right.
And so while he's been here, he has seen me go, he's been with me on listing presentations, and 2 weeks ago, he saw something, and I want to share it because I know he thought, wow, this is part of real estate. So my sellers called me. The address is 150 West Orange Hill Circle. And they are now living in Miami, and he does not want to come back. They haven't revealed it, but it's possible he's sick, because I know she's coming in and he's not even going to come in to help pack up. So the sister lives right down the street. The sister met me there, and I went in the house and thought, oh boy, these people have a lot of stuff, and this home needs major staging. And I looked at the deck and thought, oh boy, it looks like it needs some work. So she said, I think probably by the time we get around to doing this, it's going to be about a month. And I said, Judy, I know what the market is today, and more than likely I know what it'll be next week, but we don't know what the market's going to be like a month from now. So we talk about the shift, we're in the shift. I don't know what's going to happen when. So I encouraged her, if you want to get the top dollar for your home, let's get it on the market now. So I'm going to have my handyman come over and start working on the deck. And when I'm there at the open house on Sunday, I'm going to let them know that, that the deck is a work in progress. And in the meantime, I'm going to stage your home. Nate and I physically moved things around in that home. We started in the great room. We went to the porch and moved the porch furniture to the deck. We went in the basement and cleared all their crap away. We did everything. So we worked all day Wednesday afternoon, all morning Thursday. I met the photographer there Thursday at noon. We launched it on Friday with showings to begin on Saturday morning. And I held an open house from 12 to 4 on Sunday. And I sold the home on Monday. If those sellers had their way, they would have been waiting a month. So, I recognized this is a good home. This is a good market. There's nothing on the market in this subdivision right now, and let's just get it going. So that's all we have to offer our sellers is our time and our talent. And we need to give them both.
And I think that's such there's so many good lessons in what you just shared. What a great story in that, sometimes, and, I'm thinking about agents of all experience levels. Sometimes it's easier to not push our sellers, right? We don't want to be pushy and say, oh, you got to sell today. You got to sell today. You're coming from a very strong knowledge base, right? We're talking about a shift. You've been a realtor through the last 4 shifts. Right. So you've seen all those, right? You know what's coming. You know what it means. And the difference for your sellers of maybe it'll get on the market in a month. And that is, now how many times has a seller told you it'll be ready by the end of July? And here you are on Labor Day weekend, still don't have the house ready, right? And so your ability to say, hey, listen, when you hire me, you get all of me. Yep. And Nate's young, spry back to move furniture around. And it went from maybe we'll list in a month to sold in inside of a week.
Right. So and powerful. I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and clean. I mean, I was thinking to myself as I was cleaning that home on Wednesday, I don't clean my own home, but I'm here cleaning my seller's home.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'll tell you, it's funny, the number of times that I've called you and you have been moving around dining room furniture, painting a wall, hanging light fixtures. And I think that, that really gets into when we think about maximizing the listing, there's maximizing the listing. Hey, I want to show well, I want to hold good open houses. I want to earn future listings. I want to capture buyer leads, but there's also maximizing it for your seller, right? Like, and that's a great example, but how often are you doing some sort of repair, some sort of painting or remodel, light remodel or staging to a listing to make sure that it shows as good as possible for your clients?
That's right.
How often are you doing that, you think?
Always.
On the 8 list, 100% of the time?
Always. Yes, always. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, is there ever a time where, you're going to get pushback from a seller that they don't want to paint. That seems expensive, or that seems time consuming, or that they don't think that the staging is going to do it, and just sell the house. We live in Miami. Don't worry about it. Like, what's, are you handling those objections still, or is that not so much a thing?
Yes. So no, so I went on a listing presentation yesterday, and I showed them what the homes on their street look like. So they built this home. They still have a lot of their, very traditional wallpaper. The home has wallpaper throughout.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I said, the options are to strip all this wallpaper, or to accept the fact that this is what people want. I showed them every home, the light and bright. This is what people want. And they're going to take that into consideration, and we need to adjust the price accordingly, so that, so they can come in and do it themselves. And in this market, it's okay. In different markets, that's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah. There's only so low you can go with the price when somebody still has to redo the house.
So I went on a listing a couple weeks ago, a home on South Wilden and Shaker. And I walked in the home. They had a huge dumpster in the driveway. And they said, that dumpster was being taken away and it was filled with stuff. Well, when I walked in the house, I thought, well, how can that be? This house is just filled with crap. And they said all that stuff in the dumpster was from the exterior, things that they had gotten rid of. So they wanted to list the home in 2 weeks. And I said, you've got a lot to do here. You've got a lot to do. And I told them what they needed to do. And they didn't agree with me. And she called me the next day. I said, I'll make an appointment to come back next week, because again, we have our knowledge, but I'm not going to give it away. If I don't think I'm going to get the listing, I'm not giving away my knowledge. Mm-hmm. So I called her and said, want to come over and talk with you. And she left me a voicemail that said, we're going in another direction. And I thought, that's fine. She did not want to do what I told her needed to be done to list that home. And that's okay, because, that's the beauty we have in real estate. We get to choose too. Is this going to be something that is, because you put a lot of time and effort into a listing and you spend money, and, is this going to be something that is going to be beneficial, or is this going to be difficult? I mean, all I kept thinking when I walked in that home is, they have a daughter. Where does that little child even sit down to do her homework?
Mm-hmm.
That's what a mess it was.
Yeah, I think that, in your video, you talk about what drew you to Keller Williams was the culture and the belief system. And one of those things is, one of those items is integrity, right? Right. And there's a lot of opportunities to uphold and live up to your integrity as a listing agent, and a lot of opportunities to, subvert it. If you take a listing that you don't believe in, if you list a price that is not right, if you have sellers who aren't willing to do what it takes or allow you, I know you're not even the person who's going to say you need to do this. You're going to say, let me
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. And so, I think that speaks volumes to, what's allowed you to have a career that's over 45 years now, and is something that has allowed you to build a business that you're selling a dozen units, and your total volume is among the top in our company.
So there's something else that I wanted to add to that that you were just talking about. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No, you're all right. We know you're not becoming listless, so don't worry about
it. No, I just had it on the tip of my tongue, and I was listening to you and lost the thought. Anyway, I can't remember what it was, but it's all about servicing. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I know. So, I took a class recently, and it was a staging class. Mm-hmm. And I encourage everybody, when that class is available, take that class. And sometimes it's not even held, it's held in Cleveland often, but it's held, you can go with a friend and do an overnight in Pennsylvania or something. Take that class. What it does, it gives you confidence that you can do this, and by the way, and sellers love to hear I'm a stager. Mm-hmm. So certified.
How important has it been over the years to take advantage of, everybody's got to do their CE, you got, and we offer a bunch of training, but to continue to push the boundaries of, getting the certifications in staging or negotiation or, home decor, whatever it is, that allow you to bring another layer and level of value to your client.
Well, that's what it is. It's just another layer of value. Years ago, so I took I don't even know if it's, as important today as it was back then. For me, especially because I was young, as young realtors, you need to have something, a reason for a seller to want to list with you over somebody like me. So I took classes and I became a GRI, which is a graduate of the Realtors Institute.
Yeah.
And then I took other classes, and these were, I went to Cincinnati and I went to Columbus and I took several classes, and then I received my CRS designation, Certified Residential Specialist. And for many, many years with that Certified Residential Specialist designation, I got a lot of referrals. So, there was a big book that came out that had, so I got a lot of referrals. These days, I just don't know. I don't know that people, it's as important, but it is very important to get as much education as you can.
Well, yeah, I think that whether or not it is an important, whether or not a CRS or a certified staging expert designation is important to the client from in name, the intelligence and acumen that you build along the way to getting it will make you a better realtor.
Correct. It makes you more confident.
Yeah.
And confidence, that's very important.
There's the highest ROI in our industry is investing in education.
That's right.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
So when you think about if let's as we're thinking about maximizing the listing, and let's say in this market or in any market, what are the things that you are absolutely positively, they're non-negotiables, you got to do them every time, or you might not get everything out of the listing? Like, so you talked about staging. So staging's a must.
Postcards, just listed and just sold postcards to every neighbor.
Excellent.
So when I see them come, like Shakiba Sudman lives in my neighborhood. When I see one of those just listed or just solds come from her, it really pisses me off. Because I know my neighbors are getting them too.
Yeah.
So and Lynn Simon just listed a home. She's best friends with somebody who lives in my neighborhood. I sold the home, but she listed it. So I know she's going to send that out. Well, guess what? I am too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, when I list a home, it's always about just listed to everybody who lives around there. There was a time that I would call people who lived around there and just personally invite them to the open house. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, would you just show that one screen?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What my open house looked like?
Yeah. Let me get that up for you.
So remember I was talking about that 150? Okay. There should be another one that would show my magazines. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so on the far right is my sign-in sheet, and I make sure that everybody signs that sheet. To the left, I hope that they at least take the brochure. To the left of that, I have my business cards, of course, and I have my my lifestyle magazine. I hope they take that because, and people often do because they either see a recipe or decorating tip. To the left of that, I bought a ton of Girl Scout cookies and I put them out at every open house. People like that. To the left of that, I have some mints, then I have some soaps, and that's it. Well, you know what? When a seller who lives down the street walked in, he said, wow, that's quite a spread. There you go.
Well, I know what open houses I'll be attending. I am a sucker for Thin Mints. So.
Oh, good. But I'm going to bring you some, Mike.
Oh no, you don't have to do that. Trust me. So we're just listed, just sold. That's so smart because so many times we might think as a newer agent or a really busy agent, I've got a listing and you know what, it's going to go on the MLS. It's going to sell. It's, this market's crazy. I don't need to do that. One listing you want to beget the next and the next and the next, right? So what are the other things that you'd recommend that maybe you don't feel like we all do or we could do at a higher level?
Reach out to the neighbors. I think that's the most important thing, reaching out to the neighbors. Putting it on social media is certainly what everybody should be doing. I'm not as good at that. And I see people you know, putting on social media, you know, standing in front of their new listing. It's going to be open on Sunday. I think that's so impressive. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's no wrong way to let the world know that you have a listing, because I'm sure for, you know, as we look out at the people who are a part of the meeting today, you know, I mean, and look, I mean, there's under 2 years, under 3 years,
Right.
you know, and the consumer has such wild ideas, right? Like, we may have helped a friend buy on the buy side, and they may think like, oh, I thought you only did the buy side. I didn't know you could list houses too. You know, it's funny. It was always a question that we get, like when we're bringing people into the organization, is, hey, can I list homes and sell homes? And yes. So letting the world know that you're a listing agent is a great way to become one.
And letting the world know that you don't only work in a certain price point. So, you know, I have a good friend whose young daughter lives in University Heights and listed it with a young person. And I, you know, was talking to my friend and she said, you know, Debbie, I told her to call you, but the truth is she doesn't think this is your price point. Well, that is not the reputation I want at
Wow.
all.
Yeah.
You know, at all. So, you know, you just have to make it very clear, especially somebody at my level. You just have to make it very clear. I don't care if it's $150,000 home or a $1.5 million home.
Yeah.
You get my concierge service as per my testimonial.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that there's, that's so impactful to know for everybody, and whether it's listings or buying or just your real estate business in general, if we don't go out there and tell our story, somebody else will. And it may be potential clients who are telling themselves a story about us. Oh, you know, Debbie doesn't sell on the West Side, or, oh, she doesn't work in this price point. And it's all about what we're telling them and how we're reassuring them that we are capable to help.
Well, that's an interesting East Side versus West Side. That's a topic for another day, because it's something that, you know, prior to having a GPS system, you know, you said, I only sell on the East Side or I only sell on the West Side. I'm always intrigued when I see people in our office selling all over the universe. And I wonder, like, or listing all over, you know, in Akron, in Copley, in, you know, on the far West Side, in Vermilion. And I wonder how you have to have knowledge of the area. And that was, you know, that was a thing I always felt like, I need to know where the local schools are and the local fire and police departments and such. So, so I'd love to have a conversation about that so that I can become more confident, you know, listing something on the West Side versus referring it.
Yeah. And maybe that's something we can throw together as a training, is how to be a great agent without geographic bounds.
Right.
I like that.
That would be a great discussion.
All right. Well, we'll get something dialed up. Debbie, as we hit the 10:30 mark here, any last words of wisdom, pieces of advice, or just encouragements for our agents that are going to go snag a listing and then maximize it?
So, you know, two things, I guess. I would say invest in yourself. So, you know, when you're going on a listing presentation, it's okay if you really know your best friends, but, you know, invest in, you know, a couple of great suits or great dresses or whatever. You know, we're professionals, look the part. So that's the first thing. And invest in your sellers. So don't take photos on your iPhone. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have professional photos taken. But, you know, when I see these photographs with somebody photographing a bathroom with a mirror, and you can see the agent taking the photo in the mirror, I think, oh my gosh, that is such a disservice to a seller. So invest in yourself and invest in your listings.
So great. Debbie, you are you're a fixture on our training calendar. You're going to be a part of our summer masterminds, and every time we have the chance to learn from you, I get so much out of it. I see a lot of pens on paper in the crowd today, and I really appreciate just how in culture and such a huge contributor you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Go forth and conquer. Thank you again, Debbie. We will see you very soon, my friend. Have a great day, everyone.